What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Reverse Sweep. And this episode, we are not going to be doing an intro. We're going to be going straight into this clip. Apparently, iLLeY got caught on a burner. Let's play the clip, guys.
Search and destroy.
We want to do a generic left roof, right roof?
Are they starting the game?
I'm gonna go top third. I'm gonna like.
That's iLLeY! It is iLLeY, bro!
Wait.
Can
Go
you
back.
Shut the fuck
He
up, guys.
talked.
Jesus
Go
Christ.
back. Go back.
Go back.
Do that.
Wait, who's? Are these people that are talking about
No,
this?
So somebody's
on
watching
stream?
a VOD. Somebody's watching a VOD of this Pretty Ricky guy. And that was 100% iLLeY talking to Tiny. So Tiny was the first voice we heard, and then iLLeY followed up like with whatever they were talking
But I'm
about.
saying, were they in the call with him?
No, so I think Tiny streaming,
He had to have been streaming, right? Like, that was probably coming from his live stream, and
and it
then...
was a clip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
basically,
that's not good.
if that's true, that clip was actually from recent, which I
Look
have.
to the
I have
buck.
to
That was
believe
iLLeY,
it.
Chris.
No,
That was his voice.
Yeah.
that was 100%. But I have to say, like, if it wasn't, from a recent stream or anything like that, it does make sense because Devo in the lobby is Tiny. That's his gamer tag, and he's playing with somebody that I've never seen in my life. Like I know Tiny because he's my roommate. He's definitely playing with iLLeY. Like, that has to be iLLeY.
And that was in a 2v2 Prime S&D tournament.
Yeah, which
Well,
we
shit.
all
Hold
know.
up. Tiny's your roommate. Go ask him. Yo.
Oh no, he's actually in Minnesota right now at home for the Toronto thing. He's been there for like a couple weeks now. So, I mean, I could ask him if I really wanted to, but listen, I'm not gonna put his business out there. But yeah, that's not a good look. As we all know, iLLeY should be sitting out. He's got a thumb problem, which to me is still it's really unclear. It's really weird because they've been keeping it a secret. I get it, you don't want to put his business out there, but the fans have questions. Everyone
I'm
has
all
questions.
cool with not putting his business out there, but don't lie. Like, I feel like
Yeah, wait. I
They
want
said
to
a
hear what
pimple,
Scump.
bro.
I want to hear what Scump has to say before
Yeah.
I say anything.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Is he actually?
I knew it, dude. I knew it, bro.
Is he actually?
Dude, yes. Dude, I knew Indra would do some shit like this, dude.
Wait, who's he playing under? Or how's he playing?
I don't know, but he's playing with Tiny.
No fucking way, dude.
Being a little rat. Dude.
No way, dude. I'm actually.
Look at him.
Wait, someone's got to get me this clip. Don't try to link it though. You'll get timed out. Don't try to link it.
Dude, he's literally, dude. Oh my gosh.
I mean, how did we not see that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did we not see
It just happened.
Oh, it just happened? Dude,
Yeah,
Ender's
that's
a
why-
little
that's
rat, bro.
why.
No way.
I knew it.
Yo. Ender's a little rad, bro. I respect the passion.
No,
Wait, they're coming through
dude.
again, dude.
Yo, that is that is a great response. That is a great response.
Well,
from Seth, man.
I think that's Seth being caught off guard, and that's like the most political way to like
Oh,
respond to
100%.
that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I loved it.
Bro, you know what's funny? It is I was talking to people about this today, like, and they were, I think it was before this clip was leaked. They were saying, like, I wonder if iLLeY has been playing or if he's just been like straight up resting, like not holding control or none of that. Bro,
I mean,
that's
You-
bad.
you gotta think too. Like, he came back at the Pro-Am, right? And when he wasn't expecting to, and played a series, and then said, "Okay, no, I'm done for the weekend." Like, he tried it, so he's obviously,
Oh,
obviously trying to play, but I don't know. It's just, I think the thing for me here is like the mystery around all of this, right? Like, we don't have actual answers for what's actually going on. So this happening is just kind of like adding to that mystery of like, what the hell is really going on in the OpTic camp, and like, what's iLLeY dealing with,
I mean, if they truly didn't know, because Scump also, I saw people tweet that like Scump said Rambo was going to be heated. It just isn't a good look, because if you're like going through all the trouble, right, getting checked out, if it's something serious, I still don't think it's a pimple that got infected. Like,
right? Which is
it's
what everyone went with.
Yeah, bro, you don't get a pimple on your thumb. I don't think I've met one single person in my lifetime that has been like,
No.
look at this gnarly pimple on my thumb, like, ever. But so, like, if he's supposed to be resting and you're going behind everyone on your org's back to grind like a S&D wager tournament, like I don't get it. This is exactly what Zuma did. Well,
Mhm.
minus the part of like going behind people's back and playing, but like he tried to play through his issue and it completely fucked his hand up.
Yeah,
Like
and you
like
also
his
got to
thumb.
think this guy's on OpTic. He's getting paid. He doesn't need a 2v2 elite prize fucking
That
claim.
exactly.
Like, so this guy's just doing it because he
He's
wants to
passionate.
play and he's passionate.
But that just gives me the question, like, if he's passionate and wants to play, then why isn't he playing with the team? If he's good enough to play in that elite, he should be good
Yeah, I
enough to
think
play with his
that's where
team.
I'm at too, Doug. Is like, well, if he's having no issues grinding an S&D tournament all day on a burner account, then why the fuck is he not playing the
And
You
that's
know
OpTic
what it
probably
could
what
be?
Seth's question is too. Like Seth and Ant's that's probably their first question, right?
Like OpTic literally had a match today. Like,
You know what it could be? It and I could be wrong because I'm not in the behind the scenes with Optic and all them. But once again, just from personal experience, when Tommy like realized he had that right when he was having an issue with his thumb, he kind of hit it and like he didn't, I guess, make it as big of an issue as it really was. You know, like he almost played through the pain for a while until it became like too much. So maybe like it's actually a lot worse than iLLeY's leading on to be. I don't know. I can't see what other reason would be. Like you're not hopping on for a 2v2 S&D prime tournament, bro. Not telling anyone your team playing on a burner. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's just that's weird.
And so Chris dropped out, so we're gonna pause real quick.
All right, guys. So we got Chris back in the call. His internet just dropped out for a second. But just to conclude on this, I think we all sort of agree on this subject in a way where, like, as his teammate, I'd be very confused. As their coach, I'd probably be pretty upset. And I just think, like, moving forward, guys, personally speaking, that Prolute's probably going to be the starter for the rest of the year. And maybe I'm wrong. Like, I keep saying this every week, but I just feel like they look really good with Prolute. There's a lot of question marks around iLLeY's thumb that just don't add up. And Ian, I'm on the same page on you with that. So I just want to know what you guys think, too. Like, I feel like Prolute's is going to be on this team now.
I agree, but also I'd be fucking livid, bro. Like even as a teammate,
Yeah.
fucking coach, like
Yeah.
I don't know what Scump is. I don't know if Scump is doing some PR answer in that clip, but like I would be pissed because one, like I'm relying on you to fucking get better so that we can get back to our dominant form that you know we were holding at the beginning of the year. And on
And
top
he's
of that,
bullshitting on a
he's
burner.
bullshitting. Yeah, bro. If you're starting to feel better and you want to test like playing or something like that, tell us.
Yeah, it's literally that simple. I think Seth's reaction, Chris, was him literally actually probably being annoyed, but like he knows he's live in front of what 10,000
Yeah.
people. It's like he's not going to be like what the hell? Like
Mhm.
you know, he's trying to play it off.
See,
You also
so-
gotta think. Well, I was gonna say you gotta
Right.
think like this is. I mean, this is like something like for you to handle as a player. You gotta be pretty mature, right? And like, I mean, iLLeY's still super young. You gotta like be able to kind of like look at this situation. We obviously don't know what's going on, but you gotta have the maturity to like, yeah, tell your teammates, keep them in the loop, and like I kind of like being a constant communication of like, this is my update, like this is how I'm doing. I can't play. I tried, whatever. So it's like. I think it's a maturity thing to like kind of just go behind their back and just start gaming just because you're passionate and you want to play some S&D shit. Like,
yeah,
Um,
my
There's
thing that
other
I'm worried
ways
about
you could be invested into the game though. Watching film, you know what I mean? Like
being there for the team and like being like almost a second, like another pair of eyes. Like Ray.
Exactly.
My thing though, Ian, is like this worries me. If he's keeping it a secret that he's playing and trying to put in some hours, like that has me thinking that the condition is like not going to get any better. And he's
So
kind
you
of
think
just
you think like he's trying to be like go undercover and see like test the limit as like how much he can play without anyone know, because like if I'm him, right, Chris, if I'm in his shoes and it's nothing serious, it's a pimple or whatever, and the doctor just tells me, hey, you just have to rest up, don't hold a controller, don't grip it. We've heard from players on OpTic, they've said that he has his spot when he's healthy. I'd be big chilling. Like you said, I maybe go to the
Yeah,
headquarters,
exactly.
help coach while they're scrimming Prolute, help Prolute, you know, on like a one-on-one level. Like I'm not going undercover and playing the game. If I
Yeah.
know that my job is safe, I just need to heal up.
That would be my reaction too. But the one time I would definitely play, because I've had things like this where I'm like, where I feel like he would do this is if, let's say, the doctor says he's fucked, right? Like medically he's fucked, but like he doesn't feel that way. He's like, I mean, I know like this is probably not going to end well, and like the doctors have told me this, but like maybe I could persevere through this. I want to see what this really feels like. You actually like, is there any way I can actually kind of like, fight through the pain, or like grind through it?
It's a maturity thing, bro. He's still a kid at heart who just wants to game. Like
exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like, especially for he technically started his career right, like recently, right? This is what, second year in the CDL.
MW.
Like, bro, like this guy's probably been looking forward to this for like his whole like life as a teenager, where he was sitting there grinding S&D chows, and like for it to potentially be stripped away from him, like that's gotta hurt. It's gotta be one of those things where you're kind of like in denial. It's like, nah, bro, I don't care what they say. I can grind through this, right? And or iLLeY, he's a very passionate person. He's very confident. So like, I mean, we don't know at the end of the day what the fuck this is, but like, I feel like the only scenario, unless you're just stupid, where you're like sitting there actually trying to hide it and play from your teammates, is if you're fucked and you're trying to kind of just like test the waters, see if you can like.
I think we could all agree. I think we could all agree that like we hope it's nothing serious, because that would suck.
Right.
It was the same thing that happened to Zuma. Like Zuma could still be competing easily and be like one of the best players, be a top player. And Zuma was by that point already around for a couple of years, so hopefully it isn't anything like that. But yeah, it just isn't adding up. That's the biggest thing for me, is it just makes no sense how he's going about it, to where I feel like what you were saying, Chris, is maybe he's trying to test his pain tolerance, because he might know that it's something serious. It's more serious than he's leading on.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I think we can all agree it's more serious than OpTic in general let on, right? Like if the rumor was like it's a pimple and that was it and he's going to be good, then okay. But like, yeah, this screams to me that it's more serious than anyone knew beforehand. But listen, speaking of OpTic, obviously, iLLeY, if you're listening, man, we hope you get better and we hope it's something serious. But speaking of OpTic, let's talk about the fact that they matched up against NYSL for the first time this year. The first time Shotzi's ever played Crim in his career, and Crim kind of had his way with them. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Crim played
Obviously, all in New York are looking great, but dude, that was a different series that we saw. We've never seen OpTic that bad, I feel like, in this game at least. And yeah, I was kind of shocked.
We see them lose, but they didn't. They don't lose like that.
No, I think like honestly, man, New York is just really, really hot right now, and I just think that they have a really good pacing with their team, and they have a lot to prove. And it was a really big confidence boost for them too. I mean, they just won the last tournament, so like obviously they know they're a really good team, and OpTic is probably the best team in the game right now. So that probably leaves New York in the top 4, despite the fact they're like bottom 4 in the CDL point standings.
Yeah, I mean, from the series, obviously NYSL's been hot. They won the Pro-Am. They've looked good ever since they've had Kismet. To me, though, because that was the only series with ProLu where I was like, whoa, like OpTic is like completely outclassed right here. It just seemed like NYSL as a team they were setting pace the whole series. Like they controlled the whole series. It looked like they were running laps around OpTic. Like OpTic was just, they were kind of just getting punched in the face and didn't know how to react. And that's what happens. Like if a team is a well-oiled machine and they're making the correct plays in the game at a faster rate than your team is, like you're going to have a hard time. That's what I took from it. I don't know if it was a one-off or if maybe Crim Pat is in their heads a little bit.
Well,
I don't know.
We've seen those situations in the past.
Crim got smoked too. What series was it before?
It was their series, literally the last series New York played. He went like neg 30.
Versus what, Toronto?
It was bad. It was bad.
I think it was Toronto.
Yeah.
And then he
that was with Scrap, right?
Yeah, and then he got match MVP the next day, or the next match. So
Bro,
Vanguard, man. Call of Duty Vanguard, Pat.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I think although I do think New York is a top 4 team right now, and they are definitely capable of beating OpTic. I think OpTic has just been on a high, and they've been they probably were just overconfident. I mean,
that's fair.
I could be stealing away some shine from New York here, but I just think they weren't as prepared. I also hear that apparently OpTic doesn't scrim New York. So they probably, they're not familiar with them, like playing, especially with their new roster.
That makes no sense.
Do you know why?
Oh, no, I mean, I'm not making an excuse. I don't know. But
apparently they don't scrim FaZe either, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just don't want
Why?
to teach them. But either
No
way,
idea.
listen. What I'm trying to say is, these guys were obviously underestimating these guys. They're probably not as prepared. New York needs to like win every single match they
Yeah.
play. So you gotta think they're coming with the fire. I'm not saying New York can't do it again. I'm just saying that the odds for New York to beat OpTic here in this scenario were definitely in New York's favor because they had, the upper hand here. They probably came more prepared and stuff like that. But regardless, bro, Crim played phenomenal. Bro, Hydra is disgusting, bro.
Top
Like
five. Top
he
five.
was making shots. He looked like nothing, like in the first two maps.
I
Like,
think
he
a
was
series
flying.
like
series
that-
we've ever seen.
A
of
series like that from NYSL too is like it's a legitimate thing because of the form that OpTic's been in. Like it's not like they won 3-2 like around 11. Like it was a pretty comfortable win, I would say, against a team who's been hot. So I
Yeah.
don't think that was like a fluke win by any means. They're definitely a top 4 team. It'll be interesting. I hope we can see them match up on LAN.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
OpTic will probably be a lot more prepared by then, and maybe we get a more competitive series. Like for the fans out there, we're not trying to say New York is better than OpTic or whatever. OpTic's better than New York. It doesn't matter. We're
That's what Pat
basically
thinks.
we're basically saying these two.
They
Well,
potentially
yeah,
play
we
round
know,
two, by the way.
We know Pat, but we're just trying to basically say New York is a competitive ass team. Like they look really good with their current team. I think Kismet. I mean, we already know like what Paul brought to the roster. They looked a lot better as soon as they brought him on. But what Kismet brings to the table is really good. He's that like ratty, like communicative sub, right? Where
Glue player.
Yeah, he's got that playmaking ability. He's really good at search and destroy. He's just nerdy and he calms, bro. I think that's like the most underrated part because when you're playing like, with a person that is from a foreign country. Right, Hydra's French. Guy's disgusting. We all know his English isn't the best. It's not the worst, but like Kismet being able to bring that communication is definitely going to help them in a scenario where like let's say before they had like Neptune's communication was garbage. My bad Nep, but he hasn't had good communication in comparison to like Kismet, for example.
Dude, I think Kismet brings this level of aggression and like pacing to the team too, because him and Paul both fill and are both pretty aggressive on their cuts, and they both win a lot of their fights and they grind. They're good at S&D, so it doesn't surprise me that Crim and them played really well. And it was really interesting to me though because I was watching Shotzi play today in their match, and he was like a 2.8 KD on Berlin HP, went on like a 14 streak. Dude, he had his like worst match versus New York. He had like a hard 0.8. And it's like that's just how Vanguard is sometimes, I feel though, because of how fast you die, and with tack sprinting, it just, we've talked about this on the show, but it just causes so many inconsistencies. And that's why I think the standings are close. I think that's why in this game, like player overall KDs are extremely close. And I also think that's why we could see a lot of different teams win and have success on Vanguard as well. So like, it doesn't surprise me to see like some of these results that we've seen. Like even this one topic that we have on here that James gave us, like the worst match in history. I'm sure he's referring to that like match for seeding today, right? Like that Thieves match against Florida.
Good Lord. I didn't even watch it. I saw the CDL tweet out the keys to victory and I was like, yeah, okay.
Bro, we've had two of the worst matches in history in the same weekend.
How do we feel about the CDL saying that though, Chris? Like literally putting the keys of victory, like it said the keys of victory for Thieves. Like you got stomped 3-0 by OpTic. Don't get your momentum going.
At this point, I'm not fucking surprised as to anything I see on the CDO broadcast because there has been some straight faded topics, faded fucking takes from everyone in the CDL. But the one thing that I'm not surprised about is we finally hit that subscriber goal, by the way, on our channel. So
take the hat off,
congratulations.
Pat. Take the hat off.
Next week. That's
the next episode. Okay.
Next Sunday. So we hit it. We hit it for this time, but the reveal is next Sunday. And speaking of next Sunday, Ian, if we can get 2,000 more subs, that's our new goal. You gotta wear the super suit a whole episode.
Look, I'll make the pot even sweeter. I'll wear it the whole episode. I'll be sweat. I've never watched it.
What?
That's gross. You wore it like 8 times.
So that should sweeten the pot. I've done like 3 episodes. No, because you can't wash it. You're not supposed to wash it because then it shrink. Long story short. But
it'll shrink up, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean they can already see my package, so
Jesus Christ.
But if we hit 2,000 subs, yes, I'll wear it for an episode. But look, what did you get on the first episode? It was like 1,200, 1,300.
I'm hitting records for subs. Records.
We have to do better than that. I'm not prolonging
we hit
it.
2,100.
If we're not doing a multiple episode thing, it's got to be 2,000 subs on this video.
I don't think you got clout like that.
I do
Ian.
have
I'll
clout
be
like
honest.
that. Why,
I don't think
why
you
would
do.
why would I even want to?
You were like
will
a
I promote
background.
it? No, I won't promote it because I don't want to wear that thing. That thing is. I put it in the closet, bro.
You were
I
like
think
a
there's something
background
growing in
actor
there.
for the thieves.
Ugh.
Anyways, so yeah, 2,000 subs, and I'll wear the red Power Ranger suit. We're gonna get 10,000 pet.
All right,
Nah,
so
I
back
don't
on
know.
topic, right, boys? So we had two of the worst CDL matches of all time. CDL matches, not fuck CDL. Call of Duty matches I think I've ever watched. I think I've actually watched pool play, amateur teams come in and play pro teams like back in the day, matches that were better than this.
I blame the league.
You blame the league?
Wait, you said 2?
I've seen. Wait, yeah. What? We had Boston versus Thieves, and then on the other side of the spectrum, Thieves versus Florida. Thieves involved in both of them.
Wait,
Ian, what do you think about that?
Thieves one wasn't that
Whoa.
bad though. That was
Well,
just
so
a
it-
horrible calling.
Bro,
So
that was the
horrible rule
worst.
call.
That was one of the worst series I think I've ever watched. I actually think no bullshit, got up, took a piss, and 2 maps were done. It was a 21-minute series of Call of Duty.
Oh, you're talking about that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's
Yeah.
not talking about today.
What?
No, that's
So
not
one
the worst
weekend.
match ever, Chris. I mean, we've seen beatdowns like that. in
I've
Call of
3-0
Duty
Pat, I
history.
think, in
What?
15 minutes before.
We have
It's
not.
never
We have not
happened.
seen beatdowns like that. That's the fastest L in COD history. Listen, Doug. There was 22 minutes of actual in-game time. Like people
Yeah, no, that-
actually
no,
playing
that-
the
that-
game.
It was a 100-point club 6030. It was a
3-0, yeah.
smoke show. Yeah, it was an
Bro,
absolute
what?
smoke show.
You like
you know
that
what's
was
weird,
actually
though?
rank
It's like-
play.
Well, to be
How
fair,
does
that was
that
impossible
happen?
with CTF and Dom? That was you couldn't.
Yeah,
you had to
yeah,
play
yeah.
a 10-minute map. So control.
How does that happen though? Like, how does Thieves look so good right there, and then look so bad versus OpTic, and then OpTic looks so bad
I'll
versus
tell you,
New
dog.
York?
I'll
Like,
tell you, the servers. Boston played LA Thieves on a Texas server.
And LAT had the artificial ping this time? I think that's what I saw.
Yeah, the raised ping. Yeah.
Well, regardless,
I
who
mean-
cares about that? LAT fried them.
Yeah, but
Like,
dude, the thing is, like,
we all know Boston's been average. We all know they've been gassed.
yeah, but they're
not like a top
bad,
team.
but they're not that bad, Ian. Like,
I
did you
mean,
see?
how
did
many
you see
times have we
when
played the? How many times
Okay,
have
they're
Boston
not
played
that
the
bad.
Thieves?
No, they're not. No, the servers for sure. The servers for sure. We talked
They were
about this
all
with
neg 20,
LAT.
bro? They couldn't
With
get
LAT
killed. Yeah,
last
versus
episode.
Seattle.
It's Fugaze. We know
They were getting
that.
turned on, bro.
Yeah, you're just not shooting back. But like they're not. We can't act like Boston's some top team. Like
No.
Boston is the
No.
middle of the pack team. Even LAT in their current form, they're probably still winning that series or have a very good chance to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I think the real problem was the actual worst match in history, which was this pointless, meaningless seeding match today, where obviously neither team wanted to win, right? Neither
You
team
said it right, Pat.
benefited from winning.
on Twitter.
Oh,
It's exactly how it should have been. That's why I said
Yeah.
I blame the league. How could you not see why would you make it so one team is or both teams are going to want to lose? Like we don't
Yeah.
even need to talk about that if they weren't trying or they were testing new maps. It's like why not make it the winner gets to choose?
100%.
That's it.
Because it could be reversed, right? Where like maybe the seeds are right? Like OpTic should have been maybe 1 seed and Minnesota 2 seed. Then in that scenario, the winner actually benefits if that's what they want. But it's not that way. So the rule should always be a choice. And if you have the choice, you're gonna get the pick of the litter, right? You're always gonna try and win.
Yeah.
But I think honestly the worst part for me was the fact that the keys to victory, right? The CDL broadcast basically said try to lose. Like if you win, you play OpTic.
Bro,
They
I
literally said they tried to you might as well lose.
understand the CDL and the broadcast team, they like to have fun, but you literally cannot joke about a rule that is actually bannable. Like legitimately bannable. Like
Boys are tweeting out match fixing, Chris. Match fixing.
career ending. Bro, they basically said, yo, match fix. Like, you just got to throw, like, because that's the best option. Like, what? They're literally promoting actual
Just
cheating. Like,
Just imagine. And then someone comes out. If I was in that scenario, I'd be like, yeah, I lost on purpose. And then the CDL is like, oh, fine. Oh, he's banned. I'm like, go to Twitter. You told me that
to be
it was
honest,
my key to victory.
To be
to
honest,
lose.
this just shouldn't have been on broadcast, regardless,
100%.
right? Like they scheduled today for 3 matches. The matches end. You can come up with whatever after the broadcast is off to do however you want to do it, and just say, "Hey, we had a tiebreaker. There was a whatever. This is the team that ended up being 7 seed. This is the 8 seed. This is the bracket." But to put this on broadcast and like display this, I think it was a terrible call.
Terrible
It
fucking
obviously
idea.
wasn't like planned, right? This was something. It was like a 1 in 100 shot that like New York didn't win a map, or whoever didn't win a map in that last one to get the tiebreaker the way it was. But yeah, just in the fucking
Bro,
stream
now-
and do it off stream.
Not only was the way they like handled it a fucking L, like the ruling was an L. Like, dude, who the fuck is gonna want to play OpTic? Like, clearly, no one wants to win that match, and I don't give a fuck how much you try. You're not gonna play the best of your ability, knowing that in the back of your head. And what you said, it shouldn't have been broadcast, bro. There was clear fucking trolling the entire series, by the way.
Bro,
From both
Tommy
teams.
guns, ignoring the hill.
Oh yeah, from both.
Bro, when Florida won, they were
Vetoes?
pissed.
Bro, the vetoes. Bro, yeah, that was actually the funniest segment, by the way. If you go to watch the stream after first map, the team that fucking lost was actually happy as shit. You go to the team that won, they actually look like they just like lost like 6-5 last map to like, you know, for a championship. They were just like,
Yeah. Well,
They're like,
because
damn
that's
it,
what
I
happens.
told y'all to stay out the
Dude.
hill.
Yeah, who got
Bro,
like
who-
Dave, Patty? Why are you getting time, baby?
Whose idea was that to play this on stream though? That's my biggest question.
Yeah,
because-
bro, I thought the stream was done. We were
problem
literally
is
about
that,
to start
like,
the flank, and they just
It
threw
should
it
have
on.
been. It
yeah, like
should
the
have been.
problem is that like it just delays everything. Like it delayed our episode today. It delayed the flank. It also with the casters and the analyst desk, it made them have to stay for an extended period of time where they didn't like think it was gonna happen. So I'm guessing whoever made the keys to victory was already in a trolly mood because the casters were in a trolly mood, the analysts were in a trolly mood. They were like, "What are we doing here right now?" Like
I don't even
Like,
They
Players
just
aren't
keep
gonna wanna
taking
try.
L's, bro.
I don't
keep
care if
taking
they
Ls.
would have streamed it or whatever. I get it, but like they just handled it like poorly. That the fucking the match was just a clown show, bro. Like that was actually unacceptable. We were just clowning it the entire time. We were doing a watch party and we didn't even watch the fucking match because we knew it was pointless. Like we were just watching challenger shit. Like what the fuck are you doing? Like think about how bad that looks to not only like people like us, but like investors that might be looking to get in the CDL, bro. Like we're talking about expansion fucking every year we don't get. What is it? The third, fourth year now. Like,
And you see that shit.
and you see this shit.
Oh.
They're promoting match fixing in their own fucking tournament. I get it's a joke, but like, dude, the CDL just
Can't joke about
keeps
match
taking
fixing, bro.
L's, bro.
That's
Look
like
at
a joke you
CS:GO.
say with your friends privately. That's not a joke you literally put on a main broadcast for the Call of Duty League, right?
Bro, look at
Like, we could all laugh
CS:GO.
about
Those
that, but-
iBuy powers got banned for like years.
Right. I think some of them are permanent still. I don't
Yeah,
even know.
like why would a bro in a franchise league is just joking about it like it's nonchalant? Like,
I
come
mean,
on,
dude,
man.
look, they've been holding L's.
Yeah,
The
across the board.
the bounty matches, trash. The series before that, the Boston, Florida one,
That ruling.
where the ruling, bro,
Oh,
who gets
dude.
paid? I don't know how I haven't got an email yet. Who gets paid to run the show? Like the worst calling you could possibly make. And then they literally force both teams, which I get it because it is a tiebreaker and like 6 scenarios lined up. But like Florida had no idea. LAT, I don't think had any idea until they were down 2-0. And then they tell them, yeah, you guys have to play a tiebreaker to determine your seed. You're both in winner's bracket. Winner plays or OpTic, loser plays Minnesota. And then they go and put on the freaking broadcast to lose on purpose so you don't play OpTic. Like, of course, no one's gonna try.
Bro.
Why would you? It's
This-
actually a joke at that point.
Yeah, I also to touch on that, you were talking about the ruling with Boston. That is probably some of the most bullshit thing I've seen. I get it in scenarios where it's like, oh, we can't, give this guy a glide bomb because of the points. It'd be too hard to replicate, right? Bro, replicating there's one round that needs to be played. And you know which teams have offense and defense. You know what team had a streak. It's the easiest replicatable scenario to play from a fair manner because of it's a fucking round-based mode. It's not like a hard point where it's like, oh, this team had a rotation, this team was up by 20, this team was dead, this guy was here, bro, there definitely should be a pause feature. How the fuck do we not have one, by the way? Like every other esport
there
has something
was
like
one.
that.
Didn't we
was
have
in
a pause
development.
feature?
It was in development in Cold War. They tested it. I remember testing it in scrims and stuff like that when I was in the league. It was the funny part is it was at the beginning of the season because I was on London for a little bit at the beginning of the season. Anyways, I guess it just disappeared or
They just chalked it up.
they just couldn't get it to work. Mind blown, by the way.
Right.
Like billion-dollar fucking publisher, companies, etc. Point is, what the fuck was that ruling, dude? Like, It
I
take
think the
it.
problem is, Chris, that you kind of hit it. Like, dude, in a situation where it's just an S&D, just a round, like it's predictable. You put a graphic up over the stream, right? Like they obviously restart. And for anyone who doesn't know, Boston was playing Florida. Boston goes up 5-2 game 5. TJ Halley got a glide bomb. They play, they lose. It goes to 5-5. And then the game drops, server drops or whatever. So they restart the match. And one round win is the winner. But they didn't give TJ Halley the bomb back, the glide bomb. And you just think about it logically, bro. They just restart the game and put a graphic over the score and just let TJ build up a glide bomb and then play that one round with the bomb. It's that easy. It's that fast. There's no confusion. And my problem is, if this was a regular series, okay, this ruling sucks, but whatever. But this was a super important fucking match. It determined who got 8th seed, who was in the winner's bracket, and who was in the loser's bracket.
One issue that I have, so obviously I played challengers for a long time, and I know challengers are a different landscape, but I have had multiple, I have a lot of tournament experience in there. I've had multiple times where there's been dropouts, there's been lagouts. Doug, you can attest to this, right? Where there's like bullshit that happens. And I've had fairer rulings on there where I've had times where people are giving point leads in hardpoint and we play from point leads in hardpoint on a fresh game. That's never happening in the CDL. But point is, like, why is it that we're playing in the same type of environment? We are playing with the same technically with same rules, right? It's not like we're allowed to match fix. We're not allowed to do this. We're not allowed to do this. And we have better ruling than a fucking CDL match, bro.
The thing I don't get though is like, yeah, there should be a pause feature. Yeah, they like what you said, Pat. But also, like, if it gets to that point, because they were up 5-2, they threw away a couple rounds. It was 5-5. It happens, right? I remember when I first switched over to Call of Duty and Ghosts at a tournament. It was against FaZe when I ran into the wall. You remember that the meme of me against Cap? So last map we went 5-5, similar fashion. The game crashed, and they just asked both teams, "What would you rather do? Play one round or replay the game?" And both teams were like, "Yeah, we'd rather just replay the full game because one round could be super fluky." Like, they could have just replayed it. I guarantee you, both teams would much rather have just replayed start 0-0 and let it finish that way than doing a one round one and done.
Florida would have wanted that one round no bomb.
Well, here's the.
There was another match.
They would have wanted it, right? But they would have been like, "Yeah, we can replay the game." Like
they had one more match after this match, right?
They didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, it was only because LAT got.
It was only okay. So this was supposed to be the last map of the day.
No, LAT played OpTic after.
Okay, so then maybe they just were on like a time schedule because they had to get the OpTic match going after.
Time schedule. Right? They added an extra series to the day. That's complete bullshit. There's zero fucking excuse for why the situation was called for, because any logical person that has played Call of Duty, and I've been in fucking challengers where it's like, oh, if it's a replicatable situation, we can do it. But if it's not a replicatable situation, we just got to go with, the result, or just do a full replay or something like that. It's fucking mind blowing. It's absurd. I don't know who the fuck made the call. They deserve to be fired. I don't care. I literally don't care. That's literally fucking unacceptable. Like,
you're not wrong.
I've had fucking refs at open bracket stations at Call of Duty events that have never played Call of Duty give better fucking like calls. Like, it's embarrassing. I feel bad for the Boston guys, because after getting blown out the day before and then having that shit happen to them for a very important series,
I'd appeal if I was them. I don't even know if you can. If I was like a Boston GM, I'd throw an appeal out or something.
We tried appealing at the Minnesota land at the kickoff for the CDL in 2020, like the very first event when we got forfeited. Do you remember that, where we forfeited because Lacefield picked a default sniper class that had hardline on? Yeah. It didn't change a damn thing. But we forfeited the whole map. We won 6-2, and they came back after we won and said, "You know what? He had a banned perk on. You forfeit the entire map."
It just looks like a joke.
They're drunk. They're literally drunk.
When you did the appeal, what did they say? Like, do you remember what happened after?
Pointless. Absolutely, they were just like, pointless.
We feel you. We understand, but
we said
in the future.
So we said that we were gonna basically boycott our next game, which was against Florida Mutineers the next day, and like organization was only on board. They sent out the appeal to the league, And the league literally came back like, okay, well, you'll just be awarded a loss, and that's it. We don't care. That's literally what happened. Like the CDL just doesn't give a fuck, bro. And
Yeah.
it's so clear at this point. Like the CDL just does not care. Period.
The rules should never be just black and white like that ever, and especially in a game that like it just has so many issues. Like I don't know, stupid as fuck. But anyways, enough with the negativity.
Oh, and I got a warning, Ian, for tweeting about it. And if it happened again, I would get a fine. I remember that.
Anyways.
They literally spent the time to write up like an official document, like an actual like paragraph warning of what I did, why it was bad, signed by the VP of the league, whatever, and sent that shit over. And it's like, bro, you're putting that effort in to do the stupidest shit ever. Like, just put some effort into making the right calls. Period.
Literally. Wow, that's actually insane.
Good point. That's a great point.
Anyways, so let's move on to something more positive. We already know CDL continues to put the L in their own fucking name.
Oh, I like that, Chris. I like that.
But anyways, yeah. Anyways, so next team we got to talk about is we got to talk about Pat's 2022 champions, the Toronto Ultra.
They're looking good.
Wow, are they a fun team to watch, bro? Like, bro, I'm like Cold War when they started coming out like being teams. I was like, yo, we got the underdogs and they're going nuts right now. Like, and they're back. They're looking back in a form, man. They're a super excited team to watch.
The best thing is it's all of them. It's not just one of them going off. It's all of them performing back to the standards that I think that they held themselves at, and also the community held them at. Like every single one of them, CleanX, Cammy, Insight, Bance, you're all looking like.
You want to know why though, Pat? Why they're looking like they're back in form?
What you got for us, Doug?
They have a reason for it. Like they have Scrappy on their bench, and he's looking like one of the best players that's not playing in the league right now. So they all know.
That's
obviously
a good point.
Obviously there's some machine gun players. Yeah, I mean, dude, we all know Cammy was underperforming a little bit. He's been playing a lot better. He obviously played for Insight, and he came in and was the best player on the team, and they barely got by and beat New York. So Insight's going to come back. He's going to see that and be like, all right, let's go, boys. Like, I'm not going to have any excuses. I'm not going to make up any, reasons to be bad or not put in the time or not get on time or whatever the case may be. He's going to be on point. So I definitely think that it motivates the team, especially seeing their academy doing so well.
Bro,
so
I don't know how true this is. I don't know how true this is, but I wouldn't be surprised because I've seen this done on different CDL teams in other years where there are certain players that are, on these pro teams benches that play in challengers and have so much like XP playing in tournament settings that they might just understand the game more at a point, and they come in, they don't necessarily like actually coach their team, right? But like they give the advice, they share some stuff, they scrim each other, right? And they help these pro teams get better. I've actually seen that happen in other years. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Scrappy or even the Toronto EU or NA, because both their NA and EU teams are like the best teams in both their respective regions, are helping these guys, or the coaches are even like taking anything from like those resources because like they've made a drastic improvement. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but I'm just speculating here. I wouldn't be surprised, but Toronto look hella good, man. CleanX is back to form, bro. He's looking absurd, man. That guy's
is an issue.
Yeah, he's disgusting.
Pat, you love CleanX, don't you?
Bro, I'm telling you, man. 2022 World Champions. It's coming.
He did
true.
love him in Black Ops 4 COD champs though.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
CleanX was buying.
So
I don't even remember that. That's how much that meant.
So on the flank, I actually think we figured out why. Like, I think some of these teams are looking a lot better, and I think it's because we're experiencing that, that thing that happens later in the year where teams and players that are more overly aggressive, which we know Toronto plays with pace, right? Like in Cold War, they played with pace. Cammy was one of the most aggressive players. When you get later into the lifespan of a game, those players usually get better because they heat up. Like, and they start to get their timings better. They start to understand the game more. And Vanguard, although it's a very simple and dumbed down Call of Duty, it has a lot of little niche things that can put you over another player that you can do at any sort of time. So I think you're noticing that with a lot of teams, including the Ultra. So I think that's very important.
I think what you said too, Chris, just about which could be speculation, but the fact that they have a lot of really good players and challengers, and just the overall, like the management, like Marky B and whoever else they have behind the scenes, is like they do a really good job, to be honest, of just, I guess, being able to stay level-headed and having the resources to maybe reach out and pick someone like Scrappy's brain, you know what I mean, or someone else on the Toronto Ultra team, and just figuring out what the issue is because they looked really bad for a while.
Especially in hardpoint. Now they look really good in hardpoint.
But exactly, they have all these resources, and from my understanding, Marky B does a great job of just kind of figuring out the issue and how to solve it. Like, that's the most important thing. This team could have just continued to fall down the leaderboard and eventually, blow up and swap the roster, but they worked through it and they look great right now. And they're honestly heating up at the perfect point, I would say, in this year.
Yeah. All right, so last team we're going to talk about, we're only going to touch on these guys briefly because we've had nothing but good things to say about them lately. The Minnesota ROKKR, they end up finishing out the week flawlessly. They look absurd. They beat FaZe. They've been smoked FaZe. They smoked FaZe, and they've just been dominating. Shout out to Cole Havoc. Priesta. Attach had one of the best performances I think I've ever seen in a series. What was the stat? I think he was only traded
10 times.
10 times
the whole
out of
series.
what, like 65 kills or something like that. He was only traded 10 times. That's the definition of untradeable. So big shout out to the Minnesota ROKKR. These guys are looking a lot more competitive. This is the best part about the league right now. A lot of the teams that you didn't expect to like look good for a while, they're all starting to turn up. We actually have a lot of people that could win this tournament right now.
I gotta see it on LAN.
Yeah, of course.
I gotta see the ROKKR on LAN.
They look like they're a top 3 team.
Dude,
right now they're dominating. Yeah, but until I see that on LAN, then I'm not jumping on the bandwagon.
It's exactly how Vanguard works, though, Pat. Like, didn't they not do well at the Pro-Am?
Same
right?
team, exact same team.
Same exact team.
The Pro-Am.
You come home from the Pro-Am, you win all 5 of your matches, you beat FaZe. Like,
and
Colt
you win them
literally
convincingly.
Well, no, Cole put on a virtuoso to come back to beat Toronto on that Tuscan hardpoint and then that Game 5 siege, and then you beat FaZe the way you beat them, and then you win all your matches. It's like, how is this even possible? Like, that's the question I keep on trying to ask myself.
You're not wrong, Doug, but I will say you kind of got to take the Pro-Am with a grain of salt because they were very like fresh. Like, yeah, maybe it is a little bit of online versus LAN, but I think it just goes to show at the end of the day, swapping out a player can change the whole dynamic of the team. It can make the other players on the team that maybe weren't performing that well perform to the standard that we know them to normally play at. And I think after having time from playing the Pro-Am, scrimming, and then the qualifiers, like, they're hitting rhythm. They look good. Yeah. It's not like they're not winning these series by like the skin of their teeth. Like, they're doing it pretty convincingly, which to me, that tells me that this isn't just going to be like an online and LAN thing.
And you're getting production out of every single player on the team.
Yeah, they all look good.
They all look good, right? And who's to say that's going to happen on LAN? But at the end of the day, bro, you listen to their listen-ins, and they sound like a well-fucking-oiled machine. They look good in all their game modes. But my standout has got to be Priesta. That guy did a full fucking 180, bro. Because
he was horrible.
Didn't I call that,
bro? Yeah, I mean, you did. Props to you, but bro, I was fucking hard. I was hard. I was harping on him. I was harping on him for fucking weeks, bro. Actual weeks. I was like, bro, Priesta, bro, this guy stinks like every single day, and then he turns it around. So I'm actually happy for him. But anyways. So yeah, big shout out to all the teams heading into the Toronto Major. This is looking like one of the most competitive events we've had. A lot of the teams look good. And we still have a couple teams struggling. But
and outside of the CDL, though, we got Clayster just won the last Challenger Cup, and he's going into the amateur CDL event at Toronto as well. So hey,
true, and that's gonna lead us.
Keep our eye on.
Yeah, that's gonna actually lead us into our last topic for the day. It's gonna be about the our last or comment of the week is what we're gonna call it. God's Defense says, do you think there's any chance that a team that scrapes through into champs in the 6th through 8th position tries and picks up a player like Temp purely for champs? And I will add, like Temp or Clayster purely for champs, either via a loan or buyout for the weekend?
0%.
That's a great question. I think there's a chance, Pat. There's definitely 0%. A chance.
0%.
Do I think teams should do that?
Yes.
100%. Do I think any team will do that? No, 0%.
You think Paris or NYSL would loan either Temp or Clay? I mean, definitely not Clayster because his salary, bro. No team. I agree with Pat. No team is. First of all, NYSL and Paris will not loan their player out.
Why not?
Shot.
What if like their
'Cause they
player
don't
wants
get
to
anything
play?
from it.
What if their
Bro,
player
if
wants
he
to
wants to
play?
play.
I will tell you, bro. These teams don't care for like the goodness of these players. Like, bro, it's
Okay.
so obvious. Like,
Let's
they're not
say
doing a favor
Temp's
like
about
that.
to be on his hands and knees. Please,
Wait, let's say
parents, let me
hypothetically.
go.
wait. Let's say hypothetically they do care, and like I'm not even looking at it from their perspective. So you guys actually brought it up from the other team's perspective. I was looking at it from the team that was 6th through 8th, barely skimping in. Although I do think they should definitely do something. Like, bro, imagine Hydra was loanable. Let's say Hydra was loanable, and so somebody didn't fucking take the opportunity. Mind blown, but. At the same
Orgs
time,
won't
it's
even
like
pay minimum buyouts.
no.
Well, how are they going to
listen.
pay to loan? They're going to
No,
pay
no.
and get nothing.
I
Yeah,
agree with
that's
you,
what I was
Pat. I
saying.
agree with you, Pat. But I'm more so saying it's like I'm more like, even if my team qualified and barely skimmed through, bro, like as a service to my team, like unless everybody comes to the roster or comes to the conclusion, like, yo, we got to get this guy out of here. Like, bro, from an org standpoint, bro, you got to have respect for your players. At some point, they qualified for champs. Like,
I think,
imagine you
Chris-
qualify for champs and you get booted off the team.
Well, yeah.
Bro, I
mean,
would be fucking livid.
what you and Doug said though, like you guys are right in the sense of, yeah, I could see Temp or maybe even like a Clayster or someone else being worth it for the teams that kind of just barely get in. And the players and maybe even the coaches probably would agree with that and like want to do it. I just don't think it actually happens at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's
I think
also
at
a
that
risk.
point, at that point, they're just like, whatever, there's one event left. Let's just go be average again because they don't want to spend any money on either a buyout or a loan. And the teams that have the players that are getting this opportunity, they're gonna want more than they're gonna get. I just think it's just gonna be like talking to a brick wall on both sides.
Yeah,
I
makes
also
sense.
do think that in this game specifically, like nobody would have thought that Los Angeles Guerrillas were going to win the major, major 2. So I think if you're any of these top 8 teams, you probably are feeling pretty confident that you could make a run at champs. Like I'm looking just at this bracket right now for our Pickems moving into this Toronto major. And it's like the top 8 teams in this tournament are ROKKR, Thieves, Ultra, FaZe, OpTic, Florida, Seattle, New York. Like we might say Seattle's the weakest team out of all these teams or Florida.
What?
And they could be in the winners finals.
Florida.
No, like I'm
I
just
don't
saying, like we could see them in the winners finals or even winning the event, right? Like,
technically we could. Florida did. Florida has been dog shit, but like
and what
anything could
surprised
happen.
me is my
Yeah,
point.
anything
Like, I
could
wouldn't
happen.
be surprised.
to their credit, at the last major, they looked pretty decent. I'm pretty sure they beat
Dude, I
OpTic
would,
and stuff.
I would
but
argue that this stage actually did a good job in picking out the top 8 teams because I would say these are our top 8 teams in the game currently, and I feel like
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, but the craziest part of that is like when you look at the standings, bro. Gorillas, Boston, and London are all sitting comfy in standings for points, like all of them. And in my opinion, they're all bottom 4, every single one of them. But they literally have such a gap in points where like they could bomb out of this. They could possibly bomb the next major, and they might still qualify for champs. That to me is crazy.
It would be, imagine how wild it would be unless NYSL just fall off a cliff if they don't make COD champs.
Well, what do they need to do to make champs? Is the question.
Mean, they have to perform very well, like at these majors.
Yeah, it's the events matter more than anything.
And but the thing is, what Pat's saying, and this is going to be their biggest issue, is when you look at like Boston, LAG, London, they're pretty comfy right now. Things can change. So not only does NYSL have to do really well in these qualifiers and at the majors, but they're also competing against the teams that they need to pass. Like you have Minnesota who look great. You have Toronto who are looking great. Seattle's been looking great. So it's like now you have to not only place really well, but hope that a couple of them don't do well at these events.
I could see them.
So
doing
it could get really weird.
I could see them doing it, but at the end of the day, it might not all be in their
They just need a
corner.
cop a dub.
Well, that's the thing. I could see them doing it, but it's like if they do it, who's gonna miss out? Right?
I mean, it would be like, honestly,
because do you guys not agree that London, Gorillas, and honestly Boston and Legion, those should be the 4 teams that don't make champs? If you're just doing like an eye test of who's playing well, like if we were to decide right now, like those are my bottom 4 without question.
Oh, you're 100% right, bro. You all what kind of stinks. And this is just as like a friend POV. Well, this would be the first champs that Krim would not make in his entire career.
That's just cruel, man. Like the way that this format is set up, only what 8 teams get to go to champs now. Like
Yeah, that should.
that's just wild. Like for all of us to be competing as long as we have and to see all the Call of Duty World Championships throughout the year, to only have 8 teams playing in it to me is just like
I mean, dude, they're
unbelievable, man.
I would say it's worse for Clay though. Clay's in the same boat. He didn't get the chance. Like
That
the
is
same thing
true.
in 2020 for me. Like I didn't have a chance. Like at least Krim had a chance to
You're
try and
right.
qualify,
That
right?
is
Like,
true about Clay.
and
I
at
forgot.
the end of the day, like it's on him to blame himself and his org, honestly, for not making a change a lot fucking sooner.
True. But also, I just think, bro, the format is just dumb. We've talked about this shit. They need to stop treating Call of Duty like a fucking sport, dude. Like, bro, they're treating COD champs like playoffs, which I mean, it technically is the CDL playoffs. But 8-team playoff? What, bro? What is that? It's like we have a fucking sport with like 16, 32 teams
You know how
going
many
to a
talented
playoff,
teams
like,
we have in the world, man? It's crazy. Like
Hey,
Hey,
European
the Lakers
European
didn't make the
challengers.
NBA playoffs this year. Think about
and they're
that.
and guess what?
Yeah,
bro?
but that's they even had chances to get in though, Pat. Like
That's
they didn't even
LeBron.
get it.
Greatest, but nah, injuries kind of fucked him. Same thing.
Yeah, I know, but like they had a lot of opportunities though. Like if they had their full team, they could have easily made the playoffs though. And there's also 30 teams in the NBA. We have 12 teams in the CDL.
Bro, and you want who's to blame for all that shit?
Wait, that's actually funny. Hold on, think about that. There's 30 teams in the NBA and there's 12 teams in the CDL, but the same amount of teams make the playoffs. It's
Well,
8
no,
for
16.
each.
I don't know
Eight
why
for
my
each,
email
yeah.
is. I don't know why I don't got an email. I'll
Listen,
run this
man.
damn league.
Stop treating this shit like a sport. Anyways, like wait, do we have anything else to talk about? Oh yeah, we're
the
doing
Pickems,
We
the
got our
first round
Pickems, Chris.
Go ahead,
Rocker
Chris.
Thieves. Rocker Thieves. Chris, who do you got?
Okay. Oh shit, we're kicking in. Okay, ROKKR Thieves. So wait, can we just start? I'll just do all of them. I'm gonna give my picks, and then we'll go Ian. We'll go Censor or Doug, and then we'll go Aches Pat.
That's disrespectful.
Okay.
Called him censor. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's for the viewers, man. Like I'm just used to.
You can call me
listen,
Censor.
I'm
It's all
kidding.
good.
I'm kidding. Go ahead, Chris.
All
What are
right.
your predictions?
So we got ROKKR vs Thieves. My prediction is ROKKR. Thieves just look terrible. Sorry, Ian. Then we got Ultra FaZe. Listen, I got Ultra. This is their home. This is their hometown, man. This is their major, and like they look good. FaZe, I get it. You know they're one of the best teams in the game, one of the best teams of all Call of Duty, but they just haven't looked good. And I got Ultra coming out hot for their major. They got a lot to play for. And then we got what? OpTic. Like what? Why is this even a question?
You didn't even say the other team, baby.
That's so sad, dude.
He literally said, "What?"
OpTic.
3-0.
Anyways. And then for the last match, we got Subliners versus the Surge. And I'm going to give this to Subliners, man. I need them to have a big weekend because those are my boys. But yeah, both teams look good. And that's going to be a grueler.
There's some good matchups. Minnesota versus LAT for me. It's got to be Minnesota. Unfortunately, LAT's biggest issue, man, the whole year, they're just super inconsistent. They go from having the quickest match ever to getting 3-0'd, and it just wasn't pretty. So I don't know. I hope they can win and make a run, especially because they need these points at champs. But I can't lie, Minnesota have looked crazy lately. 5-0, convincing wins left and right. But we'll see. We'll see because it could be an online thing. But I'll go Minnesota. Toronto versus FaZe. I have to stick with FaZe. I think Toronto's looked great. And I know that this is their hometown event. But there's no way FaZe can just fall off like this. I think they're gonna do whatever they need to do, make a run to the winners finals. Yeah, OpTic 3-0. That's not even. Florida still has 3 ARs. Okay, and then the last one. I think is gonna be the best match of the first round. Seattle Surge versus NYSL. Both teams look great. NYSL, I guess you could say, has looked better. I saw today though that Pred had the #1 KD, I believe, for subs, and Sib had the #1 KD for flexes or something like that in the Major 3 qualifiers. So maybe they're finding their footing again, and if they can keep that up, I could see Seattle winning this series. And you know what? I'm gonna call upset. I got Seattle Surge winning that one.
I think ROKKR's going to beat Thieves 3-1. I think FaZe is going to beat Ultra 3-2. I think OpTic's going to beat Florida 3-1. And I think Subliners are going to win 3-1 versus Seattle. Honestly, I think all of us have mixed opinions on this. Pat, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it easy. I got ROKKR. I got FaZe beating Ultra. I think this is FaZe's event to win, honestly. And I think Ultra they're getting better, but they'll really hit their form next major. OpTic here, no question, and then Subliners here, no question. So,
All right, so
pretty short and sweet, but I want to. It's the winners round 2 that interests me the most. Gonna be some really good games there.
all right, so
Ooh.
lastly, before we end the show, who's your guys' team to win the major? And on top of that, what team is your dark horse team to make a run but not necessarily win? I'm gonna start and we just go in the same order that we did for the Pickems. My team to win the major is the drumbeat roll Subliners. I think the Subliners have just looked way too good in their qualifiers and the pro-am. These guys look really, really good, bro. Hydra is disgusting. Kismet's disgusting. Krim is playing, bar that one fucking map. He's playing some of the best COD he's played lately. And then, yeah, they just look good. I think Subliners are going to win. My dark horse team that's going to make a run, but not necessarily win, is the Toronto Ultra. There's another team that look on form. Their match, the Subliners versus New York match, was a really fun match to watch. So I'm hoping that we get like a rematch of them in like the finals or something, if that was, the case.
Okay, you think NYSL is going to back to back? That would be impressive. My pick to win the event is going to be Minnesota ROKKR. Every year, Tatch gets a piece of the pie. I think that this is the best event for it to happen, just because they look like they're firing on all cylinders. And I think they might do it similarly to how they did it in Cold War, where first 2 rounds, they kind of win convincingly, and then they have like a crazy final series or winners finals, losers finals, whatever the case may be. But I have them winning. And then for the dark horse, I am going to go, I guess, Seattle Surge, because once again, Sib and Pred have been lights out, and I think if they can carry that on to the actual event, they could beat any team.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think opposite of both of you, honestly. I think the team that's looked the best, obviously ROKKR's 5-0 and Subliners.
They haven't lost, Doug.
A lot of good teams, but honestly, I think OpTic is still the best team. I think they've been the best team all year, and I think they got even better with the new addition of Byron or Prolute. So I think OpTic is the team that probably will win this major, and I think a team that can make a run, a dark horse team, is going to be Boston. Not because I'm on Boston, Ian, because I know you're thinking that. I'm thinking that because all year they've been really good and consistent in their qualifiers, and they've actually taken care of business every time they should have. This is their first time where they're really facing adversity, and these players were basically like a last-minute team in the CDL, and they've been struck with adversity the entire year. And I think that they're going to have each other's back, and I think they could actually make a run and surprise teams, because everyone's writing Boston off right now. And I don't know. I just think that you always have to expect the unexpected.
So before I get into mine, Boston had the easiest runs at both the last 2 majors. The easiest. They played like Florida Legion, like every event.
I love Doug. Doug just did a whole summary.
I love Doug, bro.
And I'll be honest, Doug, you got me halfway through that. I was like, you know what? Doug might be on something. Bias as hell, Doug. And then you
remember this in his contract, his Boston contract.
And then I went back to the beginning. He was like, "It's not because I'm on Boston." I was like, "Ding,
shit."
So real quick, mine. I think this is FaZe event to win. I think they're on that comeback kind of like angry story. I think they're gonna show out here. They got a good bracket to make it happen. Dark horse, obviously Toronto Ultra. I think they're back in form. I think this could be one of those things where they make that same kind of loser run where they go from like round 1 losers to loser finals, something like that. So we'll have to see. But that's it for us, guys. As always, we will be back next week after the Toronto Major for an episode on Monday. Hit the like button, comment, and if you want to see Ian in his super suit, make sure to subscribe.
Wait, hold on. Before we go, hold on. I'm about to show you something.
What you about to show us?
All right. Hold.
Jesus Christ.
What is this?
They even gave me a cutout, son.
Wait, Ian, I'm confused. You're like 5'6", but that's like 6'2".
I can't believe it.
Wait, why is that cutout so tall?
Dead ass. Ian's like 5'2". Nah. But hey, we'll get him live in his super suit next episode. So you got the preview. Make sure you subscribe. we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.